So Amanda Holmes, the ultimate sales machine author, you have done so much in your life and helped so many people. You were not going down this road though at first. You had other plans, and we would love to hear your story.
I'm happy to give it, but first I just have to say that it's such an honor to be with you. You are a legend. So thank you so much for the opportunity to have this dialogue with you. And I'm so excited for the event coming up. But okay, so yes, my story is a little bit strange from most, but maybe uh there's a lot of people out there right now that are experiencing a lot of burnout, that are very worried about what's to come in the future. And I had my own kind of recession burnout back in 2011. So my father ran a very successful marketing and sales training company. I was a singer. I had released my third record. I was touring. I went to music school. And all of a sudden, my whole world came crashing down. My father got diagnosed with cancer, which is actually 1 in every 3 women today in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer, and 1 in every 2 men. It's just insane the amount of cancer that we're experiencing. So I know that my story isn't just my own, it affects many. Unfortunately, my father didn't make it through his cancer fight, but we did a year and a half. Never spent a night alone in the hospital. He was there for 382 nights.
And you were there. You were there that whole time.
Yeah,
You know,
me, my mom,
Amanda,
and my brother.
let's just stop here for just a minute because you talked about stress and you talked about cancer. And the latest review that I heard on television was that stress is becoming the main cause of cancer. So these two tied together is just absolutely proving that these people need to be in Nashville and understand how to take this stress away. So now I'm going to let you get back to your story.
No, I think that that's so critical. And that's part of the reason why I've changed our mission as a company, but I'll get to that in a minute. So I inherited a company. I was 24. I had never been trained in the business. My father didn't involve me. The first time I knew what the companies were was when I saw the P&L. It was utterly terrifying. And I had to just well, at first, I mean, everything in me wanted to run. I didn't want to be a part of it, but I had a wonderful teacher that kept saying, you can step in, you can be CEO. That's my spiritual teacher. And I looked at her like, that is the craziest idea I've ever heard. I'm a singer. I'm not, a marketing or sales consultant. And after 2 years of hiring and firing different C-suites to fill that void, I stepped in. And in my first year, I increased our leads by 1,176%. Then I doubled our coaching clients multiple years in a row. And we've continued on. I've been CEO for 8 years now. I wrote the new edition of The Ultimate Sales Machine, which hit the bestseller list, and I've been keynoting around the world. It's been a true gift. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without the understanding of stress and studying stress and knowing that piece of the mental game. And then also, my father taught a system for how to double sales. So I just picked up the Ultimate Sales Machine and I read it over and over and over again. I watched his videos over and over and over again. And I became a product of our product that is now assisted 250,000 businesses worldwide. That book is translated into 16 different languages. We've assisted our clients to generate over $51 billion in sales. We've been around for 5 decades, all because it's a timeless system that's been proven to work.
Well, first of all, that's why I'm so excited about you being in Nashville with us, because it is a system and you're the proof that the system works. Someone that had never sold anything, and yet over 250,000 businesses have doubled their production. Now, what will our people take away from what you have to share with them?
Yes. So but I'm also very excited for what you're going to talk about too. And for what, is Tony going to get on stage too?
Yes, Tony's going to be on stage too.
Oh
We're
my
all
God.
there.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, we'll need all of the mindset work because that's such a critical piece that people are in such a limited belief system. So I can't wait to hear about what you're going to talk about as well. I'm more going to get into the fastest, least expensive way to double sales. So this is more just how to use your brain power over your wallet power. I'll give some case studies of this too to make it very actionable and understand. I'll give a few examples. In real estate, we had a client that went from 17 million down to 0 to above 100 million in 1 year, from 0 to 100 million.
Oh my word.
Yeah. And when you see it, you'll go, yes, that makes sense. And it's something, it's not rocket science. It's just the single most important thing you need to succeed in business is a thing we call pig-headed discipline and determination. So luckily it's not about doing 4,000 different things. It's just a few things 4,000 times. So I'll be walking through that 4-part framework of how to double your sales. And we've seen it time and time again. It's just these patterns that we've seen that can help companies grow. And it's very actionable. We will be doing workshops specifically around how to get 9 times more clients with the same moves you're already making. So just how to better refine what you're already doing so you don't have to completely start afresh, but then giving you some more ideas of how you could work way smarter and get quantum leaps from fewer steps rather than having to work double the amount of time to double your sales. If that was the story, then I wouldn't teach that, because I watched my father die at 55. And I know the stress that he had. So I'm all about simplifying that process into a very simple 4-part framework that you can double your sales while cutting your stress in half.
Well, first of all, especially right now in the market that we're facing today, the people need this. I love that it's not just a seminar or a convention where you just go hear people speak and go, wow, I'm coming away so motivated, right? They're actually going to walk away with a 4-step process to double their production. I mean, how simple can that be?
It's a wonderful relief. First, I will tell you, first people are shocked because they realize how they're missing these 4 steps. And that's the reason why you're wasting money, is because of one of 4 buckets, which is shocking at first, but then relieving to know, okay, that's where the gap is. Now I just need to fill it. So that is very helpful, and it's very actionable. I will give very tactical things that are simple that by the end of the day you could generate a lead, or by the end of the session you could be generating a lead, which is fun.
Wow.
Yes, many times. It happens all the time. And then also something that you could continue to do for the next year to 10 years, and it would still work. That's the timelessness, but then actionable is, I walk the balance between what can you get results with today and what can change your life for the future.
Well, what I want everyone that is watching this or listening to this to absolutely understand is Tony DeCello, my husband, has been in your dojo. He has been a client, a student of yours for quite a while. And we both know he's a great coach and has helped many people double and triple and quadruple their businesses. You know, he loves that 4-step process. And that's one of the reasons he's saying everybody needs to get to Nashville. And if they don't buy a ticket soon, they're going to be left out.
Absolutely. You told me a really great story about the woman that sold her exercise equipment. Can you share that? Because it was so good.
That I sold what? Oh, yeah.
So there was a woman that
her,
was
her
thinking about
treadmill.
leaving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nicole in Atlanta. She was about ready to get out of real estate. And of course, Bold came through town, and I told her, you've got to get to Bold. You've got to take this. It will save your career. And of course, people say stuff like that all the time. Yet somehow, some way, she believed me. And she went home and she sold her treadmill. Sold it for enough that she paid her way through Bold. Now, when she told me this story, Amanda, we were at an event that cost $16,500 to attend. And it wasn't just her attending. She had bought a ticket for her husband as well, who has now joined her in real estate because it's so well. So from nothing, from rags to riches, so to speak. We hear stories like this all the time, don't we?
Well, because you have a system that works, and because I have a system that works, and it's hard to fight through all of the noise online today, right? It's hard to find those that actually get results versus those that look great, or they've got, a certain number of followers. I hate to break it to majority of people, but so many of those are bought. I was just talking with somebody last week. I was talking to a gentleman. I'm like, wow, you have 17,000 followers on Instagram, and you do real estate. And he went, oh no, someone paid for that for me. I went,
I
oh my
didn't know you
God,
could buy leads. That's interesting. You could actually buy
followers.
people to follow you
Yeah.
on Instagram or Facebook. Well, you know what? I like the true and tried methods, and I know that's what you offer. And so to me, being in Nashville, learning these 4 steps, implementing those 4 steps, and man, if they have not read the book, The Ultimate Sales Machine, and even if you've read it, it's time to reread it again, because this market, that book is needed, and it's needed today.
So I can give an example if you'd like.
Yes, I'd love that.
So, for instance, in one of our clients was in Dubai, and they were in a complete market blackout. Nobody was buying properties in Dubai at that time, and that's why they went from 17 million down to 0. And their particular marketplace, they were selling very high-end second homes. So they were selling to billionaires, and all of their real estate brokers were talking about, we have great oceanfront views, we have granite countertops. This is just a dream home for you. Well, if you are just talking about whatever you sell, whatever your product or service is at any given time, and I'm going to break this down for you in a triangle, 3% of the people that hear your message are in the buying now category. So if you have a billboard up, if you have your face on a bus, if you're posting on your social media page, if you are paying for ads, if you're sending direct mail, if you're cold calling, 3%, you make 100 cold calls, 3 of them will say, oh, yep, I'm interested. Another 7% are open to it. They're thinking about it, but maybe they haven't gone to, okay, I want to buy. Then the next 30% are just, they don't have it on their radar. They're not thinking about it. It's not a part of their world. The next 30% think that they're not interested. They have some opinions. And the last 30% are definitely not interested. That's the buying pyramid. So 90% of the people that you are marketing and selling to at every given day are not interested in what you have to sell. So if you are leading with, hey, this is a great home, you should buy it, this is the price point, you'll only get a fraction of the marketplace that would be interested in buying. So what we teach is a thing called education-based marketing. It was a predecessor to content marketing, and we call it a stadium pitch. So if you were a room full of your potential prospects, what would be the title of your talk to get their attention? Now, we did some research for this company in Dubai, and we realized that they were selling to billionaires. So what keeps a billionaire up at night? It was actually their health very often, because the average Fortune 500 CEO gets 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night. Doctors recommend 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, and lack of sleep increases your likelihood of being stressed by up to 80%. And that stress is linked to the likelihood of you having a stroke increasing by 50%. And you're 200% more likely to get premature cancer because of that stress that's linked to sleep, that's linked to. So we would stack this information for these billionaires and say, would you like to learn why wealthy CEOs are at risk for heart disease, diabetes, and premature death, and what you can do about it? Now,
You led with pain. You got their attention. You were speaking their language. You wanted to help them, right?
yes. Yes. So at first, everybody looked at that and went, wow, why would we talk about these things to these billionaires? We're selling real estate. And we said, because it's exactly what's keeping them up at night, and it will grab their attention, because people move quicker to get out of pain than they do to move towards pleasure, which majority of people say, oh, well, I don't know if I really want to talk about the pain. Well, the pains of not having the right home, the pains of how it affects potentially your spouse or your family, or the dynamic of, maybe mold. who knows that people actually don't know all of these things where they shouldn't be in the home they're in now, or they should sell, or they should buy. We should be educating them, meeting them where they're at, so they come up into the buying now category, and then you are the only option. That's how they were able to get from, oh my gosh, we've got a market blackout, nobody is buying properties, to educating them into having a record-breaking year. And that the woman that runs that company now, she just got listed in Forbes top 100 for most wealthiest women in the Middle East, which is pretty
Good for
remarkable.
her. She
Yeah.
listened to somebody that knows. I'm going to go back to what you said earlier. So many people are all about hype and how, oh, they can do this and they can do that, yet they're not making a lot of money. They're spending a lot of money buying leads, doing all these things. You're actually going to be teaching us how you don't have to buy leads, how you create your own leads, and what you do to actually start people thinking about buying from you instead of waiting until they're ready to buy.
Absolutely. And then you don't have any competition. You're not competing, right? Because right now you're competing for all of the people that are trying to get online, and it's just a brutal world out there. I mean, the other concept that I'm going to teach more about is called the Dream 100. And in essence, it's very simple. There's always a smaller number of better buyers than there are all buyers. That means marketing and selling to them is cheaper than marketing and selling to all buyers. So I'm going to walk through how to identify who's somebody that will buy more from you more often. How can you hyper focus on them? Because instead of having thousands of lists and you're trying to buy them off of wherever they're coming in, whether it's Zillow or on your website and you're running ads, instead, if we got hyper focused, then the budget to have to spend to get in front of these people is very small. If not, I'll show a technique how you can get 7 times more prospects without being pushy or salesy. It's all through social, which people usually it fries their brain and they go, oh my God, this is brilliant. I never thought about social media like this. But people who use social to sell outsell their peers by 78%. So I'm just going to give very actionable, very simple, like I said, tried and true processes that we've proven in every industry around the world, but specifically for this crowd. And I'll be around for the days to come, for the 2 days. So if you have questions, I'm not just speaking and then leaving. I'll be there to chat with everybody and answer even more questions, which is, I think that's the value
Well,
also, right? It's an intimate
I
group that we're
do
going to
think
have.
so. Yeah, with you being there 2 days. Now, people are going to be watching this. So bring your questions because Amanda is speaking on March 26th. And March 25th, she will be there. She will be available for you to be asking questions. Watch this again. Write down all the questions that you have for her, and she will be happy to answer them for you. Because the one thing I know about you, Amanda, is you have a quest. You have a quest to help people double and triple and quadruple their business. You don't want to just sit back and watch salespeople get out of the business. And I think you have this quest because of your dad. There's such a big bond there. Would you just mind sharing just a little bit about how this feeling got into you? Because here you are, a singer. You're a great singer. You have songs that have been produced. You were on your way in the music industry, and you gave all of that up to now be helping us and 250,000 other companies. Talk to me just a moment about that.
Mm. Well, I have a bigger mission. So I work with, there's this nonprofit called Divine Bliss International, and I love their whole purpose is to help people connect to who they really are and to live to their fullest potential. And I'm a direct example of this. I was faced with unbelievable adversity at a very young age, and I didn't know what to do. And the support of their mental health and mental wellness helped me step in. And then my father's framework helped me deploy business tactics. But the combination of the two were so critical that I realized I have a platform that was gifted to me through tragedy, but I could use that to better assist many others to have an experience like I have had, where we don't have to work ourselves into an early grave. CEOs live an average of 4 years less than the average human being because of the amount of stress that they endure. So I know I wasn't able to save my father, but I do believe that I can save others. And I I I really took on the mantle as well because I wanted to help build up this. We have a 500-year sustainability plan with Divine Bliss, and assisting people to just understand what emotions are causing them to have these difficulties that causes them diseases in their body. And if we can be smarter about understanding our angers and our fears and our guilts so that we can process them with love and compassion, then we don't have to go through disease. So I have a bigger mission and vision for this 1,000 acres, and we have a couple of healing centers around the world, but they're small, so we're looking for a much bigger space. And that's really what drives me, is that bigger quest to find the balance and find some grace for ourselves.
I think that's important. And I want the listeners to truly understand that when I was talking about the kids and teaching values, and you just jumped in. I mean, I didn't even have to ask you. I was leading up to how I was going to ask you to come and speak with us that day. And you just jumped in. You go, I'm there. You're helping kids. I'm there. We've got to help these kids. And bullying went down 27%. And you go, wow, that takes the stress away from the victim of the bully, right? It takes the anxiety away, the depression. And then when you and I discovered that that is the number 2 cause of death for kids between 15 and 24, that's when you and I went all out to say, we got to get people there. We only have room for 440 people. And I wish I could increase, because I know we're going to have many, many more that want to get there. And I'm so excited that you are joining us. What last words do you have for the people that are listening to this or watching?
It's critical to make sure that you surround yourself with people that are driven right now, because there's a lot of people that, already NAR has seen what, 150,000 or 200,000 real estate
Too many, too many.
leave the industry. I mean, it's crazy. Now's the time to have the opportunity to see opportunity when times are harder. This is the perfect time to take a step forward, especially with an event that you're putting on when you've had so much success. I mean, 2008 is when you got your big breaks, right? 2008, 2009, you stepped in when 90% of real estate brokerages were not making a
Losing money.
profit. I mean,
Right.
everyone was losing money left and right, bleeding, and you came in and just saved the day. So people need to hear what you have to say, because you've been there. I mean, we were the same. We had great success during the last recession.
Well,
And
here's what I know. You know how to help them. I know how to help them. It's a winning combination. They've got to go to more, MORE, training.com. Now, the more event is maximizing your opportunities, relationships, and experiences. For VIPs, we're going to have 3 surprise events. These experiences you cannot do on your own. We are going to have so much fun and so much excitement. Now, you are going to have the time of your life as well. You're going to get to hear all the speakers. You won't be going on the surprise events, yet all of us will be having a reception and entertainment that night by the lead singer of Lone Star. Now, you may be going, who's Lone Star? Well, I did that too, Amanda. And then when I looked it up, they had 20 great hits that I knew. They had won 3 Grammys. And the ringtone for my husband when he calls me is one of their songs. So if you're not recognizing who they are, don't feel bad. Just go look it up on your Amazon or your iPhone or Spotify, whatever music channel you use, and look them up. I think you're going to be surprised how many of those songs you actually know. When whatever you do, general or VIP, you are going to be in for a treat. And more importantly, you're going to have Amanda Holmes teaching you 4 steps that are going to double your production in the fastest, most simplest way possible. Thank you, Amanda, so much.
Such a pleasure. Can't wait to see you.
I know it's going to be great. March 25th and 26th. See y'all there.